If your knees ache the moment you get out of bed in the morning, if you dread the thought of walking down a flight of stairs, or if you simply cannot trust your own legs to keep you stable anymore, you are not alone. Many people assume the only way to rebuild that lost strength, especially after 50, is to force their way through heavy squats, buy expensive gym equipment, or endure painful workouts. But this diagram shows what actually happens when an already overloaded joint is pushed too hard. Starting an intense workout routine on thinning cartilage increases internal friction, quietly driving up inflammation and accelerating the joint's decline. That is why we use the total knee strength routine instead. It is a straightforward 4-step sequence that takes only 12 minutes to complete, and all you need is a sturdy chair and a bit of empty wall space. Before we begin, listen to your body. Feeling a dull muscle ache is normal. But if any movement causes sharp joint pain, worsening swelling, or a feeling of sudden instability, stop immediately and consult a healthcare professional. Reversing years of joint wear requires a methodical, ground-up approach. We have to train the stabilizing micromuscles around the joint to absorb the impact, rather than subjecting the knee to heavy, immediate loads. Step 1 focuses on the quadriceps. This large muscle group on the front of your thigh is your knee's primary shock absorber, catching the physical stress of movement before it reaches the delicate cartilage inside. To isolate it, sit comfortably in a chair with your back supported. From here, gently lift one foot slightly off the floor. Now slowly straighten that leg as much as you comfortably can, pulling your toes back toward your face at the very top of the movement. To guarantee you are activating the right tissue, imagine pushing the back of your knee downward as your leg extends. This mental cue forces a deep, deliberate contraction in the thigh muscle. Look at the difference here. The left panel shows a fast, momentum-driven swing bypassing the muscle entirely. The right panel shows a strict, deliberate pause. Hold that peak contraction for a second, then lower your foot with that same slow control. Do 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions on each leg. Establishing strict, isolated control over your quadriceps is the mandatory foundation. Until this muscle can properly manage tension, attempting complex, full-body movements will simply force the knee joint to absorb the damage. Step 2 targets the often-forgotten posterior chain. The hamstrings on the back of your thigh act as the crucial counterbalance to the quadriceps, stabilizing the backside of the joint. For the hamstring bridge, lie flat on the floor, press your lower back firmly down, and rest both heels up on a chair or a couch. From this position, push your heels straight downward into the chair and slowly lift your hips into the air, tightening the back of your thighs as you rise. Lower yourself slowly, repeating this for 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. As this vector model demonstrates, weakness in the posterior chain causes a severe misalignment of force, directing all that excessive downward pressure straight into the front of the knee. With the upper leg stabilized, step 3 moves down to the lower leg. The forward-leaning calf raise is our critical anchor for keeping the ankle and knee perfectly aligned during everyday movement. Stand exactly 3 feet away from a blank wall. Place your hands flat against it. Lean your body slightly forward, keeping both feet perfectly flat. Slowly rise up onto your toes, holding the top position briefly. Then take your time lowering your heels back down. You will repeat this for 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. The slow, controlled descent is the most vital part of this exercise. It builds your deceleration strength, the exact muscular braking power your body requires to prevent your knees from buckling or giving out unexpectedly during your daily life. Now that we have activated these individual muscle groups separately, step 4 brings them all together. The sit-to-stand progression is a functional test that mirrors exactly how you move in the real world. Start by sitting near the edge of your chair. Lean your upper body slightly forward, execute a standard, unrushed stand, and then sit back down with total control. Do 10 repetitions of this base movement as your warm-up. Next comes the true progression. Slide one foot slightly backward so your toes align with the heel of your opposite foot. By shifting your stance, the rear leg is now forced to absorb the vast majority of your body weight as you stand up. Perform 10 consecutive repetitions with one leg trailing, then switch sides and do 10 more. Executing this movement proves to your brain that your legs can bear weight safely again. Rebuilding that psychological trust in your joint stops the cycle of fear that keeps people inactive, which would otherwise lead to even faster muscular atrophy. You have now actively recruited the muscles above, below, and behind the joint, creating a supportive web that can finally absorb physical stress before it hits the knee. Here is the visual breakdown of the full schedule. You will perform the seated extension, the hamstring bridge, the calf raise, and the sit-to-stand progression precisely 3 days per week. The entire sequence requires only 10 to 12 minutes of your day. It is a small time commitment with immense long-term upside. You will not wake up tomorrow with perfectly brand new knees. Rebuilding tissue demands gradual, deliberate physiological adaptation rather than chasing magical overnight fixes. Managing joint health after 50 does not require maximizing your athletic intensity or pushing through the pain. It simply requires mastering these consistent, precise mechanics week after week.